So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 different techniques that you can use as a 2-layer process using Sketchbook App. I am demonstrating using lettering design, but you can do this with practically any of your artwork. So I have uploaded the image that I want to use with my lettering design. Now what I'm going to do is I have selected my second layer. I've gone up to the landscape button at the top here, and I am going to select my lettering design. Now I've chosen the word happy, so I'm wanting to create a happy kind of vibe background. So I now need to position the word happy where I would like this imagery to come through onto my text. I've gone up to the page button, so I've got my text on a separate layer, which is exactly how I want it. This is the opacity slider, so if I slide it back, it makes it more faint. That allows me to see the background and make sure that I've got this in the position that I want it to be in. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to select the fill bucket, the little bucket on the right hand side, and I am going to want to pour a background into the second layer, so it's the one with the lettering on it. I'm going to go up to the colour wheel, which is right at the very top, and I'm going to select the colour that I want to pour onto this page. So just now it's a transparency layer which is selected. I've now selected white, so that's why the square box is now white. I'm now going to tap on the surrounding area, so anywhere I tap will fill with the white colour. Yep, I've got my bucket on and pour it in, tap, there it is, it's all white now. Okay, and remember it's quite faint because I've got that transparency opacity tool on. So if I put the opacity bar back full on, so it's a full white page, I can then tap on the transparency tool. There, we've got it transparent. I'm going to go back to my bucket and watch what I'm going to do now. I'm going to tap on each of the lettering, H-A-P-P-Y, and it will then uncover the layer underneath, P-Y. So anything you tap on, if you have selected that fill button, will fill with whatever colour you've got, and if it's a transparency layer, it will take away that layer. I'm selecting the merge all button here so that it puts my 2 layers of paper together, and then that allows me to move around my lettering on my page because it moves both layers together. If I'd not selected that, the word happy would have moved and the background would have stayed where it was. Okay, so this allows me to move it all together. If you're happy with that, press the tick button, and then always remember to save your work to Sketchbook App and to your actual device. So now here is technique number 2. Now I'm going to use the same word, happy, but I'm going to use a different image. So if you're doing a design project, you can try out different ways, experiment with different lettering fonts and different images behind your text to see what you like the best. So always remember to put your image, your background image down first, and then select your lettering design second. So I've decided on a bed of sunflowers here, and I am then going to upload my lettering design next. I've got a slightly different font that I'm going to upload this time. I'm just going to fill in the little section at the side that's got the gap. You can still see the sunflower, so I'm selecting on my layer of paper, making sure I'm on my actual lettering layer, which I am. I've just used the opacity toolbar to fade my lettering, just to make sure that I've got it sitting exactly where I want it to be revealed on my lettering design. So I just now have the transparency tool, so I've just changed it to white so that when I tap on the bit that we can see from the bottom layer, tap on that with the fill bucket, it should pour in white paint into it. So I'm staying with the transparency colour inside my little bucket, and I'm tapping on each of the letters. You can see me here tapping on them, and everything I tap on, it pours that transparency layer into it. If I go back to my layer of paper, I want to then go back and make the background less transparent so that I can see very clearly my new happy lettering. Now it's really easy to change the white to any colour that I want. So I just go up to the colour wheel and I can select a colour. I'm going to select a blue, and I've got the fill bucket. So I've got my little bucket, so every time I tap on a section, it will fill that section into the colour selected on my colour wheel. If you don't like that, it's very easy to change it quickly. I've just changed the colour of blue there to a slightly less vibrant blue, just to allow the light blue background to pop out more in the lettering. The little fill bucket really is the quickest and most effective way to get a nice flat colour, especially when you're doing graphic design. If you hit on an area accidentally, like I did here, you can just go back to the arrow button at the top and select back, and it will go back to what it was before you'd mistakenly tapped on the wrong section. Now, technique 3, this is when you upload your own images to work on in 2 separate layers. So if you've got a painting or any sort of graphic design that you've created already, you can use that as your base layer rather than a photographic image. You can import that just as you would have as if you'd found something off the internet. Make sure you save it to the first layer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this image that I've created myself, this little mixed media piece, and I've put the word lovely on top. And what I'm going to do is I am going to use my white fill button. So I've used the little fill pot, and everything I tap on I'm creating white because it didn't quite cover the background. So I'll just get rid of this little bit there. There we go. With this technique, I'm going to do the reverse, if you like. So rather than getting rid of the colour in the lettering, I'm going to get rid of the colour in the background and leave the word lovely as it is, just so you can see the difference that gives. Remember, rather than rubbing out using an eraser tool, use the fill bucket with the transparency layer. It makes it much more quick, and it means that a tap, it will reveal instantly the background. And there, I've just moved the opacity tool over so you can see the word lovely really standing out now from that background. It looks lovely. And if you want, you can even remove the white so that you've got the outline only of the lettering. Still using the fill bucket, you can actually change the colour of the lettering. So I've got the dropper tool here, which chooses a colour from the painting. And then if I tap on anything in the painting, so I'm tapping on the black line, I can change those lines to this really nice aqua colour. If I want to try out a different colour, I'm going to use the dropper tool again, and there I've used a green, just so you can see what the difference is. And this is a really quick and effective way to try out different font styles when doing a design project. Another favourite tool of mine is this transform tool in the middle, and that allows you then to move your lettering about so you can select it and have the background shining through that you want. You can move the position, you can move the scale. It really is a very effective tool. And lastly, this is technique 4, the last one on this little video. So what I'm doing now is, again, I'm using a piece of artwork that I've created myself. So this could be from a painting, a drawing, a watercolour study that you've done. I've uploaded it to my sketchbook, and then I am going to upload my second layer so that I can use this in my background. So make sure again that you always select a second layer. I'm going to add in and import my photo from my camera roll because I've got my lettering on my camera roll. I've selected the transparency tool and I've got my fill bucket ready to go so that when I tap on each of these letters, it reveals the painting behind. And if you want to change it, you can just hit the arrow button at the back and it will take you back each step. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my favourite thing, and I'm going to hit on the black line, and it's going to reveal my image underneath. And that was just really simply using the fill with the transparency layer inside to reveal a lovely image.